The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. A new luxury resort has opened up just in time for the summer solstice, but there are certain secrets hiding in the forest that surrounds it and certain guests that want to bring these secrets to life. This is the setup to the new Lucy Foley book that came out just last week. I've read one other Lucy Foley book, The Guest List, and both of these books have a very similar structure. You have an idealized setting, you have guests coming in from all over the place to some special event that's happening there, and all of the guests have some kind of backstory, some secret, and we learn more about their story and their situation, how they relate to the other characters as the book goes on. So the book jumps from perspective to perspective of these different characters, and there's also a flash forward to where after the climax of the story happens, where you know that someone's been murdered, but you don't know who did it or what the whole story was there. So you have multiple mysteries going on at once, and it all comes to the grand climax at the end of the book where everything is revealed. This is a brilliant structure for a mystery book. I love The Guest List, and I'm just going to say this, I love this one too. It is just perfectly satisfying to go through the beginning process of setting up the characters in the book, to the middle part of the book, to the end where everything resolves. She does it very well, and I think the ending really sells me on books like these. Like if you can make me feel like everything is wrapped up well in the end, and I get that sense of closure, then you've won me over, and that's exactly what she did in this book. I'm also a big fan of books where you jump from perspective to perspective. This limited third person where you have a chapter for each character, I love it because you get inside the person's head, you get to hear their inner voice, and you get to see the setting from different angles. So it just works really well, I think. I especially liked one of the characters, Francesca. I didn't like her. I love to hate her, I should say, because she was so awful to people, but she had this inner monologue of how she's putting a positive spin on things and spreading her positive energy in the world. It was very unsettling to hear, and so it was perfect. I think that's exactly what Lucy Foley was going for. I also have to give a lot of credit to the audio version of this book because there were some really great voice actors for each of the different parts. So a lot of people playing their roles really well. It gave an additional sense of character to each of the people in the story. If I could nitpick on one thing though, this is a small thing, but every time we got a flash forward to the aftermath of what happened, we're following this inspector that's kind of looking at the scene, and this is how we know that someone's been killed, but we don't really know what's going on, so we just get little bits at a time. As I was reading the book, I started to get weary of these flash forward chapters because I didn't feel like we get that much out of them some of the time. Some of these chapters, I felt like it was just the inspector looking around and shaking his head and saying something like, "Boy, it's a real mess we have here." I don't know, I could have used a little more, but it actually ended up tying itself up well in the end. So, all is forgiven. Long story short, I'm excited to see what Lucy Foley does next. And if she keeps doing this same structure for her books, I will not complain. It is well done. And it's not one of those things where you just copy and paste the characters in and out. Like, she changes enough so that it is interesting and not completely predictable, though I did see a couple of things in this book coming. But all in all, I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. Side note, there are a lot of sexual themes in this book, so it is not intended for a younger audience, just to throw that out there.